My 27F boyfriend, 27M, yelled at a secretary and called him a FT for rescheduling him. As the title says, we've been in a LDR for about 5 months and this is the first time he's used that word, but that story completely turned me off. I immediately told him that he shouldn't have yelled at the secretary or called him that name, but he didn't seem very concerned about it. I think he was more annoyed that I had said anything, saying, "I've told you I'm not a nice person," like it's an excuse. I'm surprised because he's normally so kind and understanding, but recently I've been catching him talking like that more, referring to women as that bitch or some pussy, e.g., I can't believe he ditched me for some pussy. I'm worried because I do love him and care about him, but the way he talks sometimes makes me worry that I'm starting to see his true character, and completely makes me want to run. We've talked about sensitive topics before and we're very good at communicating, but I guess I'm afraid to bring it up. How would you bring this up to your so? Edit. Thank you all for your replies. You're all mostly saying the same thing and I agree with you. I won't tolerate that kind of behavior. I'm going to talk with him tonight and I'll update then. I'm not sure why I'm getting downvoted so badly for answering questions and thanking people for giving advice. Wanting to ask for advice and thinking this through shouldn't be a bad thing. I've told you I'm not a nice person. I'm surprised because he's normally so kind and understanding. Laughing my ass off, sure he is. I've told you I'm not a nice person. Why don't you believe him? I think he was more annoyed that I had said anything, saying, "I've told you I'm not a nice person," like it's an excuse. He's told you himself that he's a garbage person. Believe him. You really want to date a guy who cries that his buddy ditched him for some pussy? Starting to see. He's flat out told you what his true character is. He's a bigoted fuck who screams slurs at people when he's inconvenienced and brags to you that he's a piece of shit. How many more red flags do you need? A willingness to shriek slurs at someone just doing their job is a reason to break up. FFS. First of all, it's been 5 months, you don't love him. You're emotionally and physically imprinted on him, but loving someone means really knowing them. And you don't really know anyone in 5 months. It's not that hard for someone to hide negative things about themselves for that amount of time, as you are currently finding out. Second, he's told you he's not a nice person. Now he's showed you as well. He is telling you who he really is. Ignore him at your peril. Calling a person a homophobic slur would be an automatic done for me, let alone digging your heels in after getting called on it. I'll echo everyone else. He's showing you who he actually is. If you're not okay with his behavior, don't know why anyone would be, then you may need to leave the relationship. This guy sounds like a garbage person. Just because a person is homophobic, misogynistic, abusive or racist doesn't mean they can't be kind or sweet to non-offending people. Do you share his values? If not, move on. I know my boyfriend is a 27-year-old man who definitely knows that word is wrong and homophobic, but he's just so kind and understanding. Weary. Get a grip. I almost feel insulted that you are calling a grown-ass man who uses that word kind and understanding LMAO. If you're wondering how I would be bringing this up to my significant other, would be by handing them all their shit and telling them to kick rocks. So far he's homophobic and misogynistic. Does he have to drop the N-word and complete the whole trinity of hell for you to see he's trash? Don't fall for what you think he is. He's showing who he is and you don't want to believe. I think you should tell him straight up how it makes you feel. If it's something you truly know is a deal breaker for you, and he doesn't demonstrate any desire to work on that. Girl. IDK. If you don't address something, don't expect that it will automatically get better. After addressing it, if there's no visible change, then you know this person does not care about your feelings regarding that matter. This guy told you in words and actions that he is not a nice person. What more do you need to say goodbye? I've told you I'm not a nice person. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. If he's flying off the handle at strangers, it's a matter of time before he flies off the handle at you. Anyone can behave themselves during the honeymoon phase. Oh honey, I was with a man just like this. It wasn't long until I was the bitch or some pussy or other derogatory term. Get out now. If he's willing to admit he's not nice, there's no reason to stay. You deserve someone nice. Edit to add. It's better to be with a man who isn't perfect that consistently shows you time and time again that he's a good guy, than with a man who tricks you into believing he's everything you've been looking for and starts making excuses for why he's bad. That's manipulative as hell, and you don't deserve that. You can see that he thinks of women as some pussy, so why do you think he'd see you as any different? Trust that he's showing you exactly who he is and decide whether that's someone you want in your life. He is telling you he is not a nice person. Listen to him. He's not saying that to look cool. He is saying that 'cause it's true. Not being a nice person includes calling people name and calling you names pretty soon. Not believing women are more than some pussy. Believing you are just some pussy. All that in a LDR. The guy is basically telling you he will not respect that relationship and probably cheats on you already. Those are not even red flags. The guy is totally transparent about it. You put on him some filter because you cannot believe someone would be like this, but a lot of people are. Not implying that you want to, but imagine if you both had children. Is this the person you want role modeling good behavior to children? The way people treat people with no power over them shows their true colors. If they're abusive to assistants, waitstaff, laborers, etc., deep down they're abusive. Full stop. Run. Stop ignoring your intuition and run. He literally told you he's not nice, don't be stupid. You are seeing his true character. The mask is slipping because he's getting comfortable enough around you to say crap like this. Also, people that always say, "I'm not a nice person," or anything along those lines, believe it, they're telling the truth. I've told you I'm not a nice person. No, you aren't. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. He's a grown-ass man, not a child. You are not his mother and are under no obligation to change him and/or fix him. P.S. Run while you still can. He is nice and understanding towards you. That can change in time. His attitude towards you is clearly exclusive to you, and he even told you that. You're not fixing that, and 5 months is still a honeymoon phase, so better make up your mind and find someone else, or do it the hard way a few years down the line. I've learned that people who are mean to anyone in the service industry is not a kind or understanding person. The type of people who treat others like that don't have empathy for others. He will end up turning on you when he's mad. You can try to talk to him, but I'm not sure if he will change that kind of behavior in the long run. This is one of those posts where it's like, come on, if you stay with a man like that, you're signing off on all his behavior, and I'm going to assume you support him in his shitty treatment of humans, thus making you a shitty human. So your boyfriend is homophobic and misogynistic. He'll turn that misogyny around on you, don't think he won't. And homophobia is rooted in hate. The incident where he called the secretary is hate speech. The real question is, are you okay with this sort of behavior? We are good at communicating, but I'm afraid to bring it up. Sure, sounds like it. It's one thing if he recognizes it's wrong and apologizes and promises to be better. You need to leave him. This is a slippery slope. If you're okay with this behavior, imagine living with him. I thought the insult was FAAAAT from the title. I'm so dumb. I've told you I'm not a nice person. You may have took this to mean he isn't a super polite or overly nice person. The reality is he isn't even a decent person. I dated a guy who had temper tantrums when he didn't get exactly what he wanted. As in, babe, I don't like being tickled. Can you not do it anymore? Fine, I'll never touch you again. This guy also bullied a co-worker he didn't like because how absolute dare someone exist that's not to his taste. How people treat others they have or feel they have power over is how they'll eventually treat you. I told you I'm not a nice person. Oh, I have a lot of experience with this, and reading this line pissed me off just from my own memory. I knew someone who would say this anytime they were shitty, like it was an excuse, exactly like this situation. All it means is, I know I behave like a piece of shit, and this is my way of saying I'm not going to change. I told you I'm not a nice person. Why would you stay with anyone who used that as an excuse for saying something disgusting? I'm sorry, but I don't think this is something you can talk about. He's showing more of what he's really like but has hidden from you. Sounds like a toxic personality. I wouldn't want to spend time with someone like that. This isn't his first time using a slur, just the first time you knew about it. Dump his ass. I can't figure out this word. Fucked art. His true colors are showing. Am I the only one who doesn't know what FT is? Sounds like you are hoping he is kind and understanding. Spoiler. He is not. Believe him. If you don't want to be with someone who is not a nice person, leave him. If you are okay with that, and that nasty attention ending up pointed at you, keep on dating him. The guy the first had been seeing for 6 months started revealing more and more of his true character. While he had always been adorable with me, I did not like how he treated other people and talked about them, even just criticizing celebrities and strangers on the internet. He also told me about breaking a car's light because the driver was honking at him. I wasn't feeling comfortable with that behavior and energy and broke it off. Don't miss it at all. When you say LDR, have you actually met this man in real life? When someone shows you who they are, and in your case, tells you as well. Believe them. Girl run. What is LDR? Long distance relationship. There's a reason people say that you can judge someone by how they treat a waiter. Because how they treat people around them is how they'll one day treat you. This guy is literally telling you and showing you who he is. Yeah, he's not a nice person, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't be called out for it and made to feel like just because he says he's not nice that it's an excuse for all shitty behavior. Do yourself a favor and find someone who treats you and others right. He may be nice to you now, but that will slowly change and he'll show that same behavior to you or people you're close to.